Hello everyone. Today I am going to share with you a process video tutorial series on creating a softcover journal. Softcover as in a fabric journal. And I started sharing within the Facebook group that I belong to, which is Boho Daydreams. And I really feel that there is kind of a bit of a lack out there for instructions or tips and tricks and things like that on creating a fabric journal. I will say that I have watched Artie Mae's fabric journal that she created about 2 years ago. I watched that over time, and I do remember that hers was a completely different style. She did each page individually. She didn't do like a fold out page like this, like we typically do with our paper journals. And she used the method that her sister Janet Hicks has come up with, only she changed it a bit to suit herself. And I really admire both ladies. They're incredibly talented, creative artists. And I think they're one of the firsts that are real pioneers in the whole junk journal world. So I have a lot of respect for them. And I did learn a lot of things just by watching Andrea do her fabric journal. So what I'm going to attempt to do is just share with you my ideas and thoughts. And I started out with this one. You're probably wondering why there are two. And it's kind of the way I roll. I start with one and it becomes too big, or I've got more ideas in my head and I'm thinking, hey, while I'm at it, I'll just make two. So that's what I'm doing. But I shared within my group the way I was doing the pages, and I got a few tips from certain people, and I really think I wanted to do more of the shabby look. So these pages in this journal, I'll show it to you first. I started out with cutting fabric pieces. It's all muslin, and I used the measurements of 12 by 9, allowing for, a quarter of an inch seam allowance all the way around. So finished, it would have been 11 by 8. Folded in half, 5.5 by 8, which is kind of your standard journal. However, it's going to get really thick, as you know, once we decorate and adorn the pages. So I got to thinking about it and looked at some other pieces that I had, and I kind of thought I liked the rough edge a bit better. These are a lot smoother. You're not going to get as much bulk on the edges. But just so you know how I did it, I made 5 pages in each, and then we can compare when I've completed both, and you can see which method you like better. You do, like I said, get a bit of bulk in here, and you can definitely, top stitch that all the way around and get a neater, more uniform look. Totally up to you. You can use whatever fabrics you want. I used a thin batting. I actually found some beautiful white cotton batting that is crib size. What I liked about it is it's so soft. It's incredibly soft, but it's sturdy enough. One side is softer than the other. This side is a little bit nubbly. And if you shop at Joann's, this is what it looks like. So you get a lot in this package, 45 inches by 60 inches. Enough to do, oh, I don't know, 5 journals, I'm guessing. So these are the panels that I cut down. And then with this first method, I sewed all the way around, right sides together, turned it inside out, stuffed the batting in there, and then I sewed the edges closed. Don't look too close at my workmanship. These are not perfect. It's junk journals after all. So this method is fine, and it does have a nice smooth finish. Also, when I'm going to decorate the pages, I'm not going to sew layer upon layer upon layer. It would just get way too bulky for my machine. I might sew the first layer and then glue the rest with Fabri-Tac, which is by far my choice of gluing anything fabric to fabric or fabric to paper. So yeah, these have a little bit of sturdiness to them, as well as they're very soft and flexible, which is what I really like. So finished is going to be, like I said, 11 and a quarter, 11 3/8 and these are 8.5 almost. So this is the bigger journal, as in just a sort of more space to put your fabric. Some of these are different thicknesses because I do have, you know, a good supply of fabric on hand. I also do some sewing, like for the family, blankets, pillows, things like that. So these were all done with fabric that I had on hand. I love this oatmeal muslin. It's absolutely beautiful to do on the panels behind some images that we do on the front covers of our journals. I really love it for that. It's kind of got a canvas texture to it. And then I threw in some muslin that we use for baby swaddling. And yeah, it's stretchy. It's kind of gone a little wonky, but I'm going to do a white page in here. And then this is a bit heavier muslin, and then of course the ticking. So that's going to give us a really good variety of different textures to compare and look at when we're completed. So hopefully you all get the gist of what I'm trying to explain here by sewing them shut and sewn around all sides, all 4 sides. I did leave this one wider because what happens when you do a journal is the outside pages are going to be, you could even do them longer, like wider, because once it's folded in the middle, you know, when you're doing a paper journal, quite often, if you want them all to be perfect, that the edges to be the perfect distance from the spine, you can trim them down, the ones in the middle. But with fabric, I'm not doing that because I will probably put more decorative edge on the front pieces, and then probably narrower lace and trim on the inside, if you get what I mean. And then this is our second one. So these have, all I did was use, I originally had done 6 pages for the first journal that I was trying out, and way too thick. So I took it apart, and all I did was, like if you've ever made placemats, all you do is do a layer of fabric, a layer of the batting, and then another layer of the fabric. It gives you a much smoother edge, not so much bulk, but it is rougher. It's rougher looking, and you can, you know, cover all the edges with your trim and your decoration and your lace. But I did use the same kind of muslin inside for all of these pages. And again, I've got 5 pages, and that's it. This one, however, I did make the front cover, as you can see here, almost an inch bigger. So that is going to allow for the bulk. And I'm thinking this is probably going to be my favorite, but I do love this ticking. I love it. Love, love, love it. So those are the 2 styles that I'm doing. And I hope you've been able to follow me. I'm sure it's pretty basic. If anybody is a competent sewer, this is just not rocket science. It's just get her done. And then what I've done is collected a pile of potential vintage lace pieces that I would be auditioning to put in each journal. And I tend to have, I want to have some side pockets and then some bottom pockets, maybe some bits that cascade down the bottom, maybe some over the side. That all depends. But just so you follow me, the next step will be, you know, putting these pieces in here. This one I absolutely love. And I would probably sew this one on 3 sides. I'm thinking like this. So I would do 1, 2, 3. And I think I'm going to put grommets in here and like eyelets, and then do, silk trim, ribbon closure. That's what I'm thinking. This is also super pretty. Just want to show you some of the ideas that I use when I'm starting to collect things together. And then let's flip to this color. This one I love. This would also be really beautiful. This direction, because I don't want it hanging over too far. Wouldn't that be stunning in the center? Ooh, I think I might do that. If I did it this way, I like that look better. especially on the cover, but I don't think I want it hanging down top and bottom like that. Got some beautiful doilies here. And of course you can layer them, add some buttons. This particular one, this Battenberg, look at that. There's a hand-sewn little patch put on there. I don't know if you can see it. I just think that's so cool. I really like the white on the white. And there's an oatmeal colored one. These can also hang over the, you know, the sides, top, the bottom, whatever. This is silk. These are beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. They just feel so soft. And another white one. And then for sure, I'm going to do my double lace pocket idea in here. So this would be one, I'd cut it in half and place it on here. So what this looks like when you start out with is just a great big round doily, just like that. And then cut it in half, fold the two sides over, and it becomes your beautiful lace pocket. These I like to stitch in place so that the fold is very distinct for when you're putting tags and such in the pocket. You can tie it closed with a ribbon, a button, a pin, anything like that would be so beautiful. And I've got these pieces I want to use because I've got various different sizes in this. Always hard to tell the right side from the wrong side. These would be pockets. And we could even like layer them up. You know, do something like this and layer it up like that. Just really experimenting here. And I've got this piece. This could go down the bottom, or it could go off to the side and then just extend up off the side a wee bit. I love these really beigey colors. This one again could go even like this. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Beautiful. I think I might have to do that. Anchor it here with some stitching, and then it can be a flip up, or just secure it there and then tuck in your ephemera and so forth. These are beautiful. I have a couple of these. And this goes a long way. You can use this for 4 different pockets easily. Or a side, a journal cover, and so on. And then I've got some napkins. I really love this buttery soft vanilla color with the tatting on the bottom. Isn't that lovely? So that could be a side tuck. Of course, I would cut it right there. I would even maybe cut it so I could get 4 out of this one piece. Ooh, I think I like that. Love it. Could lace some really narrow ribbon through there. Do some trim on here or on the edge. Oh, so pretty. Also, what I'm thinking, what I'm planning to do in this journal is do all fabric tags. I would use a sturdier base, such as a heavy cardstock or Craftex. I like to use Craftex a lot. And then cover them with fabric and embellish them and just add some real softness that way. And then, of course, what I'm planning on doing is a few mini journals. So I would just do them smaller to fit in the side tucks or the pockets. And that's my thinking. So that's how far I've gotten, because I had to take a little bit of time and think things through. If I'm going to share it with someone else, you know, and encourage you to make your own, I'm going to really want to know what I'm talking about. So don't claim to be an expert seamstress. I am experienced, definitely, but what I do know, I will gladly share with you and show you what I create as it evolves, and I hope that it will be helpful to you. So yeah, if you want to start, you know, you can certainly catch up with me very easily. This didn't take that long at all. This is the easier method. The one where you stuff it and have the finished edges takes a lot more time. But even at that, it took maybe 2 hours. This would take maybe 1 hour. You just cut your pieces, decide what size you want. Like I said, 11 by 8.5 is going to give you a good sized journal. You might want to make it a little bit shorter. It will be easier to hold in your hands. So, you know, adjust the height according to what you would like. But both of these very, very similar in size. So next step is going to be decorating, and you will probably see some of these in place within the journal. And then